we've got head coach Pat Noonan ahead of Saturday's game against Charlotte. Laurel, if you want to start us off.
Yeah, I guess just to kind of put a bow on Champions Cup, what did you feel like you learned from that competition this year, and maybe what you could have done differently to advance further?
I think um, the message is similar to last year. We have to do better in our first leg of taking advantage of, um, some of our goal scoring opportunities and finding a way to go into that second leg with a lead, which I think we were positioned for and we didn't do. And then you see how difficult it is, to go away and against a very good team get a result. And I think, it was kind of bend, don't break. We started well and got the goal, and then I think they took control from there, and we just didn't have the legs. I think we ran out of steam, and I could tell the guys gave everything, but we just didn't have that confidence with the ball to make them or to challenge them, and just felt like survival at times, which it's going to be a tough way to advance when you don't have a strong 90 minutes. So, but it's disappointing, and now we have to quickly move on like we have for the last several weeks and turn our focus to Charlotte.
With the fatigue, do you feel like you had enough depth to compete in two different competitions to start the season? And the window is still open for, another month or so? Would you like to see more additions?
I think we had the depth. I think in how we were able to manage minutes and rotate guys and still perform well, we were able to get through it in a pretty good way. We'll look to add some players. We know we need a couple more pieces, so I would expect that. But the group that has I guess navigated this 7-game stretch has done a really good job, and it's been physically and mentally demanding. I think if we had more pieces, it would still be the case. And I think we tried to put our strongest group on the field and make sure that we were in a position to go and get results. And that wasn't the case on Tuesday, but I do think we had a strong enough group to get through this.
Can I ask one more? Just not advancing further in Champions Cup, do you feel like just with I know the expectations are always high, but especially with everyone's kind of looking at the investments the club put into the roster this year, do you feel like that does put a little bit more pressure to win a trophy either in Leagues Cup and any of the other competitions that you guys had this year?
Whatever the spend's been over the last 4 years, we've expected to succeed and win trophies. So it's no different for me what the players coming in are making or what we're spending on them. We expect to win, so it's pretty simple for me.
Pat, speaking of moving on, I was curious about, as a coach, what are the differences in how you evaluate a performance like Tuesday and move on from it, where you describe it like running at a team ran out of gas versus a situation where maybe it was a strategic loss or where the performance wasn't as high but energy wasn't the problem? What are the differences in how you move forward where those are the kind of changes, I guess?
We're moving on in the same way that we pretty much have for the last 6 games, and that's what's our days of recovery. We have an extra day, although our travel day back here yesterday was a little bit challenging. So I would like to think over the course of 3 days, guys will be fresh and ready to go again. I would imagine there's still fatigue being built up, but these are professional athletes that take care of themselves and know how to turn it around, and I expect the same, and for us to be in a position where we're recovered and have the right intensity to go on the road and not have any excuses as to what's been a challenging start to the season.
I guess I'll rephrase the way I asked that question. I guess I'm less so speaking of the fatigue leading into the next game, but more so how you grow as a team in your performances, where if you said, as you said, the team ran out of gas, you hope that that's not the case moving forward in future games. How do you evaluate a game where there, if that's the problem, if that was the problem in the last game, moving forward, what do you take away from into the next game performance-wise?
Well, you could strictly look at data and say that our running numbers were the highest they've been all year. So, okay, how do we take that information along with the travel day and, like I said, the days of recovery to assess who can turn it around and go perform in Charlotte. So those are all things we look at. But I guess I'm not concerned based on a loss or us not advancing in the competition for the group to, be ready to turn it around for Charlotte. So those are the things that we kind of analyze.
Speaking of Charlotte, what have you made of their start to the season so far?
A disciplined group. I think, game 1, no Zaha. Game 2 and 3, he's a part of the mix, and he's obviously a key piece to that group. Defensively, a very difficult team to play against. And then, dangerous transition team. I think they run behind well. So, that's something that we're looking at. But, there's a balance. When teams are dropped off, they can play through you if you don't get, the right pressure to the ball. They've got experience all over the field, excellent goalkeeper in Kalina to start their attacks, and, Reem, a very experienced member of that back line that we know, Westwood in the middle. So, Bronico, there's guys that understand the game, competing, the league, young, fresh talent in Nabata and Ajaman. I mean, Byrne, experienced player. I could go through the whole list of guys. I think, Melanda's an excellent center back. Since we've seen him in the last couple of years, only gotten better. And I think that's why they're in every game. I think that's why they are able to compete and play against different styles of play and have success. And, we've always had challenging games in Charlotte, so I expect the same.
What does Zaha bring to their team? I know there's a lot of excitement around him, and what do you see from him so far?
I mean, a comfort on the ball and an ability to take players on that's, unique, a physical presence. So he can, he can make plays in different ways. He's certainly got the experience, and he's, getting acclimated with a new environment. But, that's somebody that in the final third is so powerful and, can work to his left, can work to his right, good passer. So, we only have a small sample size of him with this group, but, I imagine he's only going to get better and better. So it'll be a good test for us.
And then is there any update on Matt Miazga? Is he any further along, anything health-wise that?
Yeah, he had a follow-up with the surgeon, and all that went well. So there's a plan now, pretty specific plan based on that follow-up that'll hopefully have him available in a couple weeks. But, excuse me, maybe not the original timeline that we'd expected. That's part of it. And the idea is to get Matt as mentally and physically prepared as possible so that he's not out there too soon, because I know this is a long season and we would love to have him back now, but that's not going to be the case.
One more real quick. Just was Pavel okay? I know he had played 90 minutes on Saturday. Was his subbing off
physical? He was physically, I think, fatigued, and he doesn't report very much. And I know he had some tightness in his legs that at that stage, once we started the second half, there was kind of an idea that he was going to come off the field based on how he reported at halftime. So, that was the reason.
Pat, I believe Charlotte didn't have a red card. Charlotte played a man up for most of their last game. Given the small sample size of games you have to look at them from early this season, does that kind of change the way you have to analyze an opponent given so few minutes to look at this year?
No, I mean we still have the Seattle and the Atlanta games to look at. Atlanta's obviously a good one because it's on their home field, but I won't spend much time looking at after watching it live the second half of the Miami game, because the idea is that we're not playing up a man or down a man for an extended period of time. You prepare for 11s, and if something changes, then at least I guess we have a little bit to look at. But like I said, hopefully that's not the case where we have to manage this game without 11 players. But we have enough from those 2.5 games to kind of look at how we want to approach the game on both sides of the ball.
And then I wanted to ask about Luka. We saw both in the last league game and this match. It seems like he's moving left to right a lot, and kind of, I don't want to say floating because that might have the wrong connotation, but being all over the field, dropping deep, going forward. Why is that, and how is that factoring into the way you guys want to play?
To try to get him on the ball in ways where he can get isolation. He's a very good 1v1 attacker, and so whether it's in a central position or whether it's wider, we look for ways to get him on the ball so he can drive at defenders and move us forward and open up inside passes when that's not the case from our build from our center backs. But he's improving his fitness. He's I think his work rate's been outstanding, and being able to start it with the 30 minutes and then get to 60 against Toronto and now build on those minutes in that second leg against Tigres. He's in a good place physically, and so I'm certainly pleased with that. And you see how dynamic he is with how he creates that first goal, our only goal, in Tigres. So he keeps getting better, which is important, and he's looking more and more like his old self.
Nick Hagelin played for FC Cincinnati 2, made his season debut, I guess is a way you could call it. Were you able to take anything away from that, and is he now ready to maybe feature for the first team?
There was a plan to build his match fitness through FCC2 games. He's going to get the game today in New England as well. So, I think it's a good starting point for him to get those 45 against Toronto too. We were there, so it was to see how he managed with his first minutes, and there was things that were challenging for him, having been injured for so long. So we're trying to be as careful as we can with him and make sure that when the time's right, he's ready to go. And I think this week plan of building him up with the anticipation of potentially losing some bodies in the international break was the right plan, and hopefully he gets through today in a good way and can build his minutes, and then from there I think it's just going to be through training and first team games. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.